Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. How are we doing, folks? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Wake with Nate. Why can I hear myself? Because that's still on. Very good. Very good. So, we're going to be finishing Islets, I think, today. We're going to try. Full transparency. Honestly, you know what I ought to go ahead and do is make sure I have something loaded, because I may be getting a phone call during stream. Does that start something? It looks like it does. Okay, perfect. So I may be getting a phone call during stream. We'll see. Time will tell. We're having the house worked on. We've got some irritating stuff happening, as things tend to do. Irritating things tend to happen. Excuse me. So I may have to hop off at some point, but at the very least I'll have to take a phone call. But obs, if I have to go, then I'll come back and let you guys know that I gotta go. I wouldn't just end stream without telling you. But stream may not go until noon today. It is supposed to, but good intentions, right? You guys know what good intentions do. Not happy with Lavazza coffee, by the way. Not happy with it. It's not very good. And I expended my coffee budget on it, so now I'm having to have K-Cups. I would rather have K-Cups than drink this coffee. That's a sign. That's a sign of how bad it is. There's your sign. Early crew, what's up, early gang? Zando has entered the chat. How goes it, trombone? What's up, trombone? Stained glass. All right, I see your gachapon. You got it.
Hey, what's up, Doc? Thinking about getting a gachapon.
I think that's what he's doing, Bugs. I think he's getting a gachapon. Let's see what Zando got today. A celeb reads poetry. Do you have a celebrity you'd like to hear read poetry today, Zando? What are you feeling? We need an early crew emo. I like that. I sure do. I was thinking Morgan Freeman. Good. Why is that voice in there? I don't even have a Morgan Freeman. Okay, here's your movie game while I go get the book. To prevent World War III, a CIA agent manipulates time, masters backwards bullets, and opens his windows and screams, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore." Woof. To prevent World War III, a CIA agent manipulates time, masters backwards bullets, and opens his window and screams, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore." Good luck with this one, my friend. I know the first movie, I do not know the second. John Madden. I can do it. Well, neither one of those are very good, but I'll do either one. I'll do Morgan. You got Morgan Freeman. I'm gonna do it. Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne. I thought that too because of the backwards bullets, but no, the first one is not. But let Zando answer it first before we give any more guesses. All right, we're gonna do Dawning. I'm gonna turn on some piano ballad for us, of course. A horse, of course. Okay. This is Morgan Freeman performing Dawning, a selected poem from Noor Unahar from New Names for Lost Things. Andy Dufresne. That's the best I got. You were so protected once, it almost made you ungrateful. Look what safety does to bodies reliant on it. I could have been something else, a cobalt sparrow on a withering tree, a fragile pearl on a cashmere coat, an unnamed star adjacent to the moon. But I was given this life, too many wants stitched inside a warm blood house. I could have left it behind, but I was given this time. Thank you, Chats and Clap. To network is correct. To network. Tenant work. Chats in the clap for Zando. Chats in the clap for Morgan Freeman stopping by today. We appreciate all accounts. Rushing off to work. Sorry I'm not around much anymore. Trombone, you are all good. We're going to be doing our every other Wednesday night, so you'll be able to join us on Wednesday nights. You're always welcome whenever you're here, obviously. And no harm, no foul, my friend. We're just happy when you are able to join us. So hopefully we're going to finish Islets today. According to howlongtobeat.com, this game is 5.5 hours long, and we've been playing for longer than 5.5 hours, so it could just be that your boy's bad at games, and that's true. But we're gonna give it our best shot anyway, because I'm enjoying this game and I want to finish it. Hopefully no more sky battles would be nice. If we could actually have no more sky battles, no more. And I'm warning you with peace and love, peace and love. No more sky battles. Peace and love. Peace and love, peace and love. Why are we not connecting, my friend? My friend, the Bluetooth remote. Okay, nope. Come on. Come on, old buddy, there we go. Now we're cooking with butter. All right, we gotta get back into some Islets. Let me know if it's too loud, because I had to bump our audio yesterday for whatever game we were doing yesterday. And just let me know. Andy Dufresne. Yeah, we're only 43% of the way through, so I don't know, folks. We shall see. I don't honestly remember what I was doing. It looks like the place... do I need to go talk to my friend again? Because I don't have any place marked on the map. So maybe I need to go talk to my buddy and see what's next. I need to remember how to play the game. That's also going to be pretty crucial. But in the interest of time, I need to learn what to do next. Andy Dufresne. I may have been grinding. That's very possible. Oh! Where's my fella? Where's my fella? What? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where's my friend? Oh no. Okay, it's on East Ride Island. That scared me. That's what I was doing. I was grinding because this battle was so hard. You guys remember? Ugh, nobody said a thing. Thank you for your kindness. Life is stressful at the moment. Oh, Trombone, I'm so sorry. Look, listen. It is stressful. Right now is stressful. You're gonna make it through. It's gonna be all right. I promise. I promise. I know that the challenges of day-to-day can be a lot. A major life change, like a new job, can be a lot. I hear you. I hate that. I hope that you know that Checkpoint is here for you. Checkpoint is here. Oh boy, I need to remember how to play the game. Okay, that's my guess. Checkpoint is here for you. We have got your back. Really gotta remember how to play this game. Dude, I remember the impossible boss. I wonder if I might need to lower the difficulty. Ooh, have I done this? I have. But still, be nice to go explore. Andy Dufresne. This was the soda machine, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, I'm really gonna need the upgrade detector. Which just means I need to find some baddies. Johnny, a little man. I've been really grateful for the check-ins, and Checkpoint reminded me that I mattered even when I'm not as active as I used to be because of all the changes. Absolutely. You do. You should feel that way, and I'm glad that you are experiencing that because that is the truth. That is the truth. Ooh, can I get up there? What is this? Oh, yes! secret. Yes! That's what we call headway. Now what I don't remember is where I'm going at any given moment. Okay, this is this thing. What is that? Yeah, I know that. Oop. Wait, where am I now? Oh, is this that fight? Oh my gosh, that fight was awful. Your horoscope is a party hat. See, life's a party, trombone. Life is a party even when you don't feel like it. That's your horoscope. That's your horoscope for today. That's your horoscope for today. Any Alfred Yankovic fans out there? Man, where should we go to grind? Is there like a good spot to grind? I guess I haven't done much exploring here, but I think that's all kind of locked off. What's that downward there? Must be the secret area. East Right Island or whatever will take me there. Let's see, there's something over here. What could that be? What could that be then, I wonder? What could that be, I wonder? Let's find out. Right and down. And right. And down. And right. And down. Let's see, this morning Helen approached me as I was dressing Ben. She was wearing a Pikachu dress and a pot of goggles. She leaned against a door jamb with her arms crossed and said, I know you guys think I have a dog, but I don't. But I do. I can't stop thinking about it. I mean, honestly, the words of the philosopher, if I think about it. The words of the philosopher. Clearly Helen knows something that we all don't. And that's that she has a dog, but she doesn't. Also, Horoscope for Your Day might be my favorite Weird Al song ever. No way! I don't know if it's my favorite, but it is a goodie. I have a lot of favorites. I grew up with Dare to Be Stupid being pretty much my anthem. Dare to be stupid! Dare to be stupid! What can you do? You can dare to be stupid! They're not gonna tell me I can't get here, are they? Gotta take Ben to preschool, Burb. All good, my friend. We'll see you soon. Swah, 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 swah. Uh-oh. Aha! Save points right here. I guess I'm gonna try to go from the bottom up. Maybe that'll work. Maybe. Whoopsie, wrong one. What can you do? You can dare to be stupid. It's stuck in my head now. It's gonna be stuck in my head now, and it's my own fault. It's my own fault that the song's gonna be stuck in my head. 2162, we're getting closer and closer. Schwa! Uh-oh. Okay, the fact that I almost did it and didn't even know what was going on is pretty impressive, I think. Methinks. Ah, we're so close! Okay, here we go. This is the one. No, we were so close! Alright, here we go. This is the one, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. This is the one. Here we go. That will be stuck in my head now, and that is not a reminder that my students need because I think that's a lie half the time with the horoscope. Automatically retrieve missed arrows. A strange letter in my postbox. I gotta know what that is. I obviously want the strange letter. Are you kidding me? I obviously need that strange letter. That one's clearly locked, right? What's that, you think? What's that, you think? Oh, Dare to be Stupid. Dare to be Stupid is a good one. It's a good one. That's a goodie. Yeah, see, there's all these places, and I don't know which ones can be accessed and which ones can't. And I keep getting stuck, and I don't like feeling stuck. I just want to know where I am and what I'm doing at all times. Okay. Oh, brother. This guy again, huh? Ooh, what's that, Seeky Secret? Is this somewhere I've never been? An upgrade! Yes, thank you. I will, in fact, take that upgrade. I appreciate this. Oh, okay. Small path. How is that helpful? This one's helpful. Ah! I'm pretty sure they eliminated smallpox years ago anyway. That's a disease joke. The least popular kind of joke. At least I'm finding Seeky Secrets. I'll take Seeky Secrets all day, dude. Come on now. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. Getting some practice at things I can't do. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree. I bet there'll be upgrades. Somewhere around here. Here we go. Ha ha! Yes! The greatest. Okay, what was the point of all that, huh? I guess I just had 2 ways I could go. Please continue with the random song because I genuinely needed that this morning. It's making me smile and laugh. Well, you know as well. Oh, come on! Ah! I don't want a boss right now. Come on! I don't have enough health for this, dude. I don't have enough health for this right now. I don't have enough health. I don't have enough health. I'm gonna die. Come on, dude. I didn't have it in me. I didn't know there was gonna be a boss right there. All right, all the way back down. Wait, was there one closer? Maybe. Yeah, that one feels closer. It's gotta be closer. Man, that ain't my dad. That's just a cell phone. Alright, I can go down to the... Okay, I'm gonna go down that way. Perfect. That's what I'm gonna do. Whoop. I'm gonna beat that boss. I don't have enough health for this, and I'm going to die are today's mottos. Indeed. Truer words have never been spake. Hey, at least I'm getting those points, dude. 2260. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. What's good in the hood? I'm here to fight the rude, keep the trolls subdued, because I'm that dude gonna be watching the chat, unglued, making sure everyone feels included. I approve these mottos. I have not a position to add these words at all. Gotcha. You're all good. Chupa! What do you think Chupa Chupa means? Because your boy don't know. I don't know what it means. I say it, but I don't know what it means. 2303, you die. Nice, dude! Haha! The greatest! Yeah. Why did you hit me? Why? Why did you hit me? Why did you do it? I don't understand. How dare you? How dare you, I say, sir? Who do you think you are? You dare to hit me, the little mouse that could? Twice! Twice you hit me twice! How dare! I need that health to take on the big boss here. Because it takes so long to get here. Okay, here we go. Yet again! Another one! Another attempt! How are we doing, H-Man, by the way? I realized I read your rhyme there, but I didn't acknowledge your existence. Ah, rats! Man, these like they pause a little longer than normal, huh? Yeah, nice one, dude. All right. Well, the good news is that we need to take our time. No, why is it here again? All right, I'm gonna save it next. I feel like these are save points. I feel like come on! I feel like I recall these being save points, but clearly they are not. So maybe next time. Okay, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I got it. I got this. I got this, you guys. I got this. This is the one. This is the one where we figure out what we need to do. I read your vibe there, but I didn't acknowledge your existence. Classic me. Used to it. Don't say that! Don't say that. That's forever on the internet now. Okay, so I just need to go right and up, yeah? And in. 23, 23, 21. Ooh, I don't like this way. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is the way. Ooh. Have I never been here before? Oh, yeah. Yes, I have. Where does Bob come from, Chris? When I said rhyme, thinks autocorrect and voice typing, great combo. I know exactly what you mean. Couldn't have said it better myself, T-Bone. I have clearly chosen the worst way to do this. Yay! Game saved. Health got. Here we go. I'm not prepared for this battle. Gonna get walloped. Ah! Whoa! Whoa! Hang on just a second there. That delay was not okay. The delay was not okay, I say. Oh, cool. So this is the way, huh? No. Nice, dude. Wasn't expecting that either. If only there were a way to recover health. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. Yes. We are only but 100 away from our breaking point. No! I need that help! I need it. I need the help. I need you all to quit, cease, and desist from the harm. I'm over it. The harm. It is not charming. Whoop. I could use my arrows. Whoop. Didn't help. All right, here we go again. Here we go again on my own. Facing the secret boss that's killed me twice. Am I gonna do it? No, I do not know. Probably not. I wish he had a health box. He doesn't. Ah, why? Why did they delay so long, dude? Ah! It takes so long to get there. It takes so long to get there. It takes so long to get there. And then I just die right away. Okay. No! I thought I had the timing. I did not. Nope. Yeah. Come on! Yeah! Can't do it, clearly. Evidently. There's one thing I've learned, it's that I cannot do it. Ah, what in the world is going on? Stop, stop, stop it. Stop it. Stop this. It's like my feet get glued to the floor. It's doing what it did with Neon White again, where the delay is awful. Give me a break! Alright, I'm gonna keep doing it until I get it. I'm not, nope, 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 not until I get it, not until I get it. Stop. Alright, maybe when they're dead center, huh? I mean, I did it, but that didn't feel right. Nary a single health point shall be lost. Nary a single one. No. No! I lost the health point. You know, they didn't have to make this game so hard. Ah, are you kidding me? I genuinely just want to, I just want to beat this boss. I don't think that's asking too much. I don't think it's asking too much to just beat this single boss. Oh, I'm at 2,500 though, that's good. See, look how long it takes, dude. What? What even? I'm hearing the sound now, and the sound is helping me. Whatever. Yeah. Give me a break, dude. Give me a break. I need to know. I need to know how many health points does he have. I need to know how far along I am. Am I making any progress? Am I making any Ah! I'm about to lose my marbles. My marble's about to be lost. All right, I'm gonna go buy the thing. I'm gonna go buy the thing. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Watch me. Watch me do it. Watch me whip. Then watch me nay-nay. Watch me whip. Whip. Then watch me nay-nay. Small white circles on my map. A car just passed me, and glancing over in the passenger window, I saw a long, straight arm, which I thought was interesting. As it finished passing me, I saw the Michigan license plate, and it all made sense. And just in case it got changed, it was a long-armed ice draper. What's up? Got your bone.
This guy chop on his way past cool.
Oh, my coffee's cold. I've been so distracted by this game. This game is too hard to play while eating coffee. while eating coffee. Good. Thank you for adding in a little salt to the wound there, H-Man. Right or left? Right or left, my friend? Just talking about how my coffee's cold and I'm unhappy about it. I had a coffee warmer, it went out. It went out. Very sad. Right it is, my friend. It appears this is the booger bean, which I think is either booger or pear. So, let me go ahead and get my water ready. Bottoms up, my friends. Pear. Feels good. Yaman. There are like no white circles here. Okay. All right, we got one in the purple section. That's good. One in the orange. One in the green. One in the tan. Easy peasy. Pick one. I got a cheap candle warmer and it works great. Candle warmer would work. We're going for this one first. Now, I assume this means they are actually collectible, right? This game wouldn't do this and then make them, like, send me to one that aren't collectible. That would be immoral. The next room, okay. I can do it. I wanted to jump up here. Ooh, ooh, what was that? Ooh, a secret prize. Don't mind if I do. Wait, what? Okay. Potatoes. You can tell I'm being reckless, huh? Okay. H-Man, I have seen it and I'm offended. I'm offended about it because nobody told me about it, and I think that that is some garbo. I don't know why no one told me that it existed. I am upset with all of you for not telling me. I literally don't want any of these things, but I guess I'm gonna do the arrow. I'm gonna play Tinykin very, very soon. It's on my new game list, so if you guys pick new game, I haven't played it, but I've heard it's very good. It's on my new game list. So if you guys pick new game again next week for our Variety Tuesdays, Tinykin, it is a Pikmin tribute, and I love the Pikmin games. Can I like go back to a save point? Because I really don't want to venture to one. I'm lazy. I guess I could just die. Kill me. Kill me, please. I beg you. Please. End me. End me, please. It's a Pikmin clone. It's on Game Pass, and I've heard great things about it. I've heard the platforming is exceptional. It's the word on the street. Why did I do this? I have heard some blasphemy, such as it's actually good, unlike Pikmin, and that is blasphemy, as I just said, because Pikmin are some of the best games ever made. So, if you don't like Pikmin, then you're wrong, is the thing. And that's just too bad. Very late with this comment, but your whip nay nay had me rolling while writing this. Excuse me. Excuse me, stop. Excuse me, stop. Excuse me, stop. You don't know what Pikmin is? Oh, Hunter Fam. How old are you, Hunter Fam? That's a bit of a personal question, but you're kidding. Hey, howdy, hey. Ah, yes. I will take that. I will take that to the bank. Thank you. Wow. Amazing. Okay, you should definitely know what Pikmin is, though. Are you not a Nintendo person? Maybe you're just not of the video game variety of nerd there. Pikmin is a game in which you control your little army of Pikmin, and you are Captain Olimar trying to put back together your ship. You land on a strange planet, and you utilize the Pikmin to find the parts of your ship so that you can go back to your own planet. And it is the best game. How am I going to do that? Is it possible? I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. People down with the patriarchy. Pikmin are little plant doodads you can control. Different colors equal different powers. Yep. No! Why can you select with X? When can you, who would make it so that you can select with X? Who would do this? Who would make that a thing? I didn't get to pick the one I wanted. I don't even know what the options were. It went so fast. I stick to Zelda and Mario. Parents wouldn't let us venture out much, and then the hubs and I did Wii Classic Games and Wii Sports until we got our Switch in 2020. You gotta play them. You gotta. If you like RTS, or you're a fan of RTS games, it's a little bit less RTS and a little bit more, I don't know. I mean, it's technically an RTS, I guess. They the best. They the best games. I'm a fan, in case you can't tell. They get a solid wreck from this guy. They're adorable, first off. That's a win. Win-win. Ah! Real-time strategy. Like with most video game terms, it's pretty expansive, but that's the loose definition. Stands for real fun time. Real-time games. Heckin' good game time. Real fun. Garbanzo! In general, I just want to hit things. Strategy games, I play rarely. Well, then you might not enjoy them. There's not a lot of hitting. Well, that's not actually true. There is kind of a lot of hitting. You got to take down those disgusting mushrooms. Ow! Stop! I just want the upgrades. It's all that I've ever wanted. You're the one I want. You're all I've ever needed. Woo. This is cruel. This is cruel and unusual punishment. I didn't ask for this. I didn't deserve this. I think I increased my arrow by 1. I think that's what happened. Okay. So an orange one. Yee. Alright, gonna make me some breakfast before I have to go get the youngest from school and go see the doctor. Oh man. Well, Hunter fam, we're glad that you hung out with us. Appreciated you being here with us this AM. If you're able to join us again before noon, obviously feel free. But hopefully safe travels. And enjoy your day. Let's try this one. Here goes that. Ah! Lurk, lurk, lurk. Made it to work. Thanks for brightening my morning. Hey, that makes my day, Trombone. Glad to hear it. That's all we could ever ask for. Also, Perry, I saw that you popped in and I never said hello. Hello, Perry. We're glad you're here. Welcome, man. Is there anything I can do? I cleared through this island so fast that I hardly even remember what I'm doing. Ciao. I need to go left anyway. These guys, I don't know about them. Don't you kill me, you bunch of bozos. Don't go killing me. I don't think so. Okay, we're almost there. Yo, did you see the new iPhone will be releasing in purple? I did. Did you see it, though? It's not really purple. It's darn near black. It's the darkest purple I've ever seen. If it was hex code B82593, well, then I'd be more privy. You dig it? I don't dig it enough to get an iPhone, I'm afraid. That's the real crux of the issue. Never again. Okay, now look, now we got time. All right, 200 points, small pots. I don't know why I would need that. I'm going with the coins. Going with those sweet coins, dude. I couldn't have walked more into that one, huh? Bow! Nice. All right. I think that's it. Oh, yeah, that's because that was from another area. I think that's it. These are all the upgrades I get. Unless I go check out east side, west side. Why no iPhone? I'm curious. I had an iPhone. I switched to Android, and I shall never go back. I don't really like Apple as a company. I don't really like how they're like so far behind. I enjoy being able to do whatever I want with my phone. Not feeling limited. Alright, see, now health potions are pretty cheap there. I could get that without too much more effort. Ooh, yeah, my secret letter! I forgot about my strange letter. Aiko, you may not know me, but I have a surprise for you hidden deep within these islands. The treasure I have hidden cannot be found with only a map, so you must listen carefully. To begin your hunt, you must search underneath a mass grave on North Stable Island. The ground may feel solid, but you must dig deep for your reward. North Stable Island? Hidden Seeky secret? Well, count me curious. But I guess we should go over here first. See if there are any more upgrades. Because if there are, then I should invest. I just hope there's no more pirate battle, that's all I hope. No, I have respect. I have respect for the iPhone as a product. It's just not something that I use. None. No upgrades here, huh? So I guess, do I just try? Do I just try and take on the baddie? Can I get that? What is that down there? Tell me more about this. And I do have more melee power now, but I mean, I wasn't making any headway with the baddie, I seem to recall. Maybe there's something down here. No, I just can't get here yet. I have something to learn. So I might go look for that reward. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Here's the plan, alright? Here's the game plan. Game plan is get 420 points, upgrade my health, go take on the plant boss again. If I'll give it like let's put a number to it, folks. Let's put a number to it. What's a fair number of attempts? What do you think? What's a fair number of attempts before saying maybe let's take a break? 10, 15, 20? Almost everyone in my circles have Apple. I've thought about switching, but it frustrates my husband. 20 attempts. All right, that's what we'll do. We'll get 420. Almost there. Have I been here before? We'll get 420. 48? Absolutely not. What's up? What is that? I think 20 sounds like a good number. We'll do 20 attempts. And after 20 attempts, we'll take a break and we'll go see if we can find a thing on North Stable. See if we can't get a reward. It's like a reward. I have it. Alright, now all I gotta do is die. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Yeah, I feel that. I think that it's a lonely life sometimes for the Android user to be the green bubble and all of that nonsense. But I have never actually run into any issues beyond people just being like, oh, green bubble. Everything I need it to do, it does. It works fine with iPhone users. It's not a big deal. And I just enjoy the user experience so much more. Just from beginning to end, I enjoy everything about the Android UI. And I think that's probably my biggest argument. If you're not a UI person, if you don't care for customization, if you don't want to be able to literally do anything that you want with your phone, if you're just content with... where was this boss? I think it's in that second room over there. If you're content with your phone in the way that it is, and you enjoy the iPhone experience, then you've got an excellent phone. You've got a phone that nothing is ever going to go wrong with. A fantastic product. Created all the diversity, or created all the starting point of all the arguments, and yeah, for sure. It's so silly. I don't think most people actually care about that. I think they're just... Been AFK for about 10 minutes. All good, Perry. Hope you're doing well. We're glad you're here. We're gonna go take on Plant Boss again. 20 tries. 20 tries. That's how many you get. That's how many I'm giving. No more, no less. 20 tries. Here goes attempt number 1. Oh. Run away, plant. I currently have the Ultra 20, I think is what it's called. I gotta remember how to get away from this one. I think it's the Ultra. Oh, whatever. Totally dodged out of the way of that one. That is some garbage. Whoop, whoop. That was definitely more than last time. I got him to below half health. Got alert before students started an exam back in a while. Oh, is it BOGs right now? I don't know if that's the case. It's my wife is having BOGs this morning, so I wasn't sure. I don't know if your age group would still be doing that, Sneaky. I've had Android before, wouldn't be against it, but FaceTime with grandparents, easy peasy. I've never had an issue with FaceTime. And iCloud Sync, never used iCloud a day in my life. Parental controls on an iPad have me all hesitating. I don't know much about parental controls just because my kids are not at that age yet. But I will say FaceTime never had an issue. We just use Facebook Messenger, or sometimes we can FaceTime and it's pretty fine. iCloud, I use Google Drive, and then again, parental controls. I'm sure they're all there. I just wouldn't know. It would be refamiliarizing yourself. FaceTime and Apple Music would be the main things I miss. I use Spotify. Spoofy. I've never had to worry too much about that one. But again, I'm not trying to convince you. It just doesn't work for me. I enjoy the flexibility of the Android experience. I have no actual problem with Apple other than the fact that they are lazy. They are behind technologically. That's my biggest beef. Not doing very good this time, huh? Yikes! horoscope. That's your horoscope for today. Oh no! This is the one that's a problem. Ah! I almost got him to half health again, though. That's try number 2. Does anybody keep me track? Does anybody keep tracking for me in the chat? 2? Type down the number 2 for me. There we go. Ah! That's an easy one to dodge. That was foolishness on my part. Ah! I overcorrected. No. Ah, I need to trust myself, dude. I can't believe I died to the attack that's easy. 3, please. 3, if anybody would type in 3 in the chat. I know better, but I always have to remind myself that Hunter Fam isn't H-Man, and now that he has a family. That would be a good name. Kind of makes me want to go change all of my like usernames to Nathan, but with a family. Same Nathan, but with a family. The Nathan you know and love, but now has a family. Nathan like you've never seen him before, with a family. Oh, garbanzo, garbanzo, nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Yikes! Yikes! Wow! Ah, come on, dude. I wish I could dodge in midair. I wonder if that's an upgrade you eventually unlock. Because I gotta be real nice. Uh-oh, we're at halfway, baby! We're at halfway, baby! Oh, the animation! Oh, no, he's a skeleton! The animation skeleton! Oh! Here we go! Here we go, bro! Uh-oh, not 3 clouds! Woo! Oh, boy. They explode. They explode. We got him down to 3rd health! Somebody type in 4 for me. I think we're gonna do it, friends. I think we're gonna do it. I think we got this. I think we got this. By the way, I'm totally gonna read your chat comments. I'm just kind of excited about how well this is going because of how hard it was last time. I just needed a breath of fresh air, my dudes. This is all I need. Oh no! Come on! How could I have done anything else? Wow! What could I have done? Shot 3 that time. Why? Why was that different? Yikes! Yikes! No! No! Not nice! Not nice! Not kind! It's not kind. Over this one! Ah! No! No, the easy one? 5 in the chat. Man. Alright, that's okay. I'm that way with some screen names. I'll be changing it to Hunter Mom in a few days when Twitch lets me. Hunter is our last name. This account was originally made for me to keep track of our oldest of his kids, Pastor Yankee Benny, and play Fortnite with him. Then I fell into the Twitch rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole, isn't it? It is easy to do. Easy to do. Oh, come on, dude. Not a good one. Not my best run. Yikes, dude. Really not a good run, huh? Wow! I swear I'm dodging it. So I guess I'm not invincible. Somebody type a 6 in the chat for me? Preemptive 6. Barry, that's why I died. Maybe that could have been the one. Maybe that could have been the one without the preemptive 6. No! Why do I always second guess myself, dude? I have that one. I have it in the bag. Until I start to doubt. And then I mess it all up. No! Stop, Nathan! I'm so in my head! Ah! 7. 7. No. Oh, whatever. I was too focused on the plant. Come on, my dude! No, no, no. All right. Is this 8? Is this 8 or is this 9? 9? Oh, you guys are confusing me. This is 9. 8 has been done. Woo. All right, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. How goes it, Alice? What's up, Alice? This is a game called Islets. And I'm at a really tough spot. I'm at a tough spot, and I agreed that I was going to try 20 times before doing some grinding. There's a seeky secret somewhere that I could try and find, but I don't want to try and find it until I try a little hard on this plant, because I think it's bonus stuff. I think it's completion stuff, and I'd really just like to beat the game at this point. Woo! Whatever, dude. I don't understand how my invincibility works. Sometimes I'm invincible then, sometimes I am very much not. Ah, no. Not the one. Alright, 9 in the chat. 9 in the chat. Zando. Don't make me turn on no backseating. I know, but have you seen me jumping on the clouds? I'm already having trouble keeping balanced. So to throw in another button is not gonna work. See, look. So I hit the ball every time. I want to do it. I want to. It's not a matter of knowing the tactic and doing it. It's knowing the tactic and choosing not to do it because I feel like I don't have time. You believe in me so much. No, I know you're not being a backseater. You're just really good at these games. You're really good. You have a natural latent talent. I would love to see Zando do this because I know you'd probably do it on like a second try. This is absolutely your steez, up your alley, your kind of game, and I know you'd be a wizard, dude. Ah, see, I get in my head, dude. Come on, just don't die, dude. Just don't die. Just actually don't die! If only I had a little more health. I just haven't learned that one yet, dude. Oh, 10. 10. No. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa, did not give me enough time. Whoa, 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 did not give me enough time, yo. That started so quick. Okay, stop. Already low health, dude. Thank you for the cheer. I swear that one started faster than normal, didn't it? Yikes. 11. It's so baffling to me how sometimes I have really good runs and then other times I do not have it. 11. See, and right now I should be shooting arrows, I'm pretty sure. Ah. Whatever. That was just silly with what that was. Give me a break. This again. Alright. We gotta learn it real quick, dude. No, dude! How do I possibly? I guess I gotta be ahead of it. I gotta be at the front of it and go all the way to the left, right around. 12 in the chat. Whoo! Hang on. Oh no, wrong button. Ooh, that was close. Yikes. Yikes! I almost had that one too. Yikes. Oh, come on, dude. Dude. No! I've gotten that one every time. 13. Woo! Come on, come on. Do not make me grind. Do not. Do not. Okay, now that was sloppy. Now I'm getting sloppy. I'm getting riled up and I'm getting sloppy. No, 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 no. Oh no, it's the plumber. All right, I gotta go. I'll send you guys to a quick intermission. I hope I don't lose all my stees. Running on a 9-volt. What am I supposed to do? Hook him up to a car battery? I need more power. Give me more power! You can't, oh no, a thing shot out. All right, well maybe that was the problem. There's a little thing in there. He has chronic fatigue. He needs some help. Now if I like wave him around, woohoo! Woo! Just not feeling it. It's because it's not Christmas yet.
Brings out the best in me, unlike the violating heat of August that fills the space between the dirt and the heavens. Only a handful of moons prior to the golden treetops and the ritualistic pumpkin and maple that stirs our hearts and reveals our need for stupid, cheery things.
I tried to, it almost worked. Some lines really worked well. All right, next stanza. So in between the stanzas, Shorty, oh my angel, you're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps you are to me, baby.
The earth is falling asleep, laying he said, to rest in the fading foliage. On the ground, folding up the data, smaller glimpses of light, and here I am. Bathing in the soft wind, here I am. Grinning in the grace weather, here I am. Waking up the tenderness of autumn, can be a cool one. What about the longer run?
Let's just draw a card, because Stinkbug's going to go in there anyway. Kraken! Hacker! Here I am. All right, mole. I don't know what mole does. Got it. Take the last face up. As you probably noticed, new face up haven't been replaced yet, right? They replaced when you finish this turn, right? Look at the face down card with blank. If you draw a face down card, it's fine. It's fine. I'll take it. It's fine. Draw one face down and accept your decision. Don't tell me to accept my decision. Jerry, would you mind running that back for me one more time? Jerry, would you mind just running that one more time for me, Jerry? Jerry, please, if you wouldn't just run that one more time. Jerry, if you wouldn't just please one more time. Jerry, if you wouldn't mind just playing one more time. Jerry, please just cycle one more time. Okay. I don't see anything. Do you guys see anything? Stop browsing? I mean, yeah, right? We're done. Bean. Now it's a dirty floor bean. It's a dirty floor bean. It made it even worse. Dirty floor bean. Woo! Woo! Here we go. I didn't even need that for a... I didn't even need that for a...
No! No! No, no, no! Mm-mm. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Even the water tasted like it. I can't even rinse it out. I couldn't even rinse it out. The water tasted like it. It was like, I don't even know. I think it was dog food. To eventually. What?
I own the Star Wars spec.
Now, how in the world do you hold a sword as R2-D2?
Oh, that's an even better question.
It just slaps on the arm. What? That looks like whenever I used to make my like action figures carry a sword that weren't supposed to whenever I was a kid. No!
Oh, that's the wrong button. How do I...
That's absurd.
Oh.
That is absolutely absurd.
How do I... The crouch? Oh, that's what it is.
The sword is just straight.
What is happening with the shield right here on the side? Do you see the side? It's just like a black box. It just spawned
Oh
it.
my god.
What on earth?
We were not supposed to meant to be seeing that. That's hilarious.
We still have enough for another cockroach. That's what I call a game, baby! That's what I call a game! Ooh! Ha! No, don't turn them to gold. No! I forgot about the gold thing! I forgot! Don't do all of them. Don't do all of them. Don't do all of them. No! I forgot! I forgot about the gold! Ooh! Alright, well at least I have a round of barriers. Dude, I totally forgot about the gold. I'm still thinking about the last one. To be so soundly defeated by the simpleton angler, no less. Here is your deck. Bullfrog, Stoat, Stinkbug, and Wolf. Study it. So there's one more card that I need, and I'm guessing it was in that secret one. Did anybody screenshot that thing? Somebody screenshot it. I need to know. Because this has got to be where the other one is. No! Why did nobody scream? Back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of 600. Where can their glory fade? Oh, it's just so JFK. Is Christopher Walken just JFK in my mind? When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made. All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Honor the Light Brigade. Noble 600. That was good. That was good. I like that one a lot. That one was too fun. I think it was dog food. And for the record, I ate dog food when I was a child. But oh boy, it hit me just right. It was like it went into an about to form cavity.
Are you Waluigi?
No.
It kind of looks like Waluigi through the armor.
Are you asking if I'm
There's no
Waluigi?
glass.
Are you asking if my
Yeah,
character is
it kinda
Waluigi?
looks like it.
I made myself.
It looks kind of like It looks kind
Oh,
of like Waluigi through the armor.
Oh no!
Absolutely rolled, dude.
I'm sorry. It looks like Waluigi.
Look at how sad I am. I'm only purple because of Checkpoint. I chose a purple shirt because of Checkpoint. That's the only reason.
I kind of see it though. He's got like a giant mustache.
No! It's a beard!
A rosy red.
It's glasses. It's glasses and a beard. It's not a mustache.
I realized
Oh.
that after, and then I was like, "Is your character Waluigi?" Oh, sorry.
So
sorry.
sad.
I'm back. Oh my goodness, what a stressful time to stop things right in the middle of, dude.
12.
Oh, okay. Whew, we're back. We're back. Sorry about that. I had to take a quick call, but now I am here. Yes, so I was expecting a phone call from the plumber at some point today, and I got one. And so now we're going to get back into the game. And not great news from the plumber, but not the worst news ever. What is it? An abrupt break. Yes, indeed. Plumber barely know her. That reaction is why I don't do bean boozles. We still have enough for another cockroach. Lurk. Shalomi, my homies. What's up, alternate kids? How we doing? We think we know what might help get your focus. We need some beans. No beans. I don't want any beans. I don't want a single bean. Oh, I see. There was a lot. Perry had to lurk. Turn the beat around. Gotcha, Pun.
Who's your daddy? Does he got shop on?
Does he got shop on? I tried to double up with the Arnold there. Oh, where'd it go? No beans. Ha ha ha. It is a doodle request, Zando. A doodle request. What doodle would you like to see today, my friend? What does your doodle and heart require? We really need some background music if we got to do a doodle. Got to split. Good stream. Take care. See you, Stained. Bye-bye. Appreciate you being here. Is something playing? Play. There we go. All right, really got to lurk now. All good, Hunter fam. Thanks for the lurk. We're going to beat this thing. I'm going to beat this thing. It's happening. I'm going to win. Triumphantly standing over the defeated runaway plant. Okay, Google, set a 90-second timer. I'm done way early. I still have another 30 seconds. What else am I gonna do? So try and add more texture onto him. I feel like he had a bunch of thorns all over him, didn't he? I always like to have the checkpoint logo where I can. Let's see, he does technically have a sword on. Alright. There's myself valiantly standing over the defeated flower. Going, ha! Ha! Alright. Here we go. Now that I've lost all stees. Now that all stees have been lost. What were we on? What was our last loss? 13? Or is that if I lose this one? Because technically I haven't lost this one yet. Is this 13 or is this 14? Whoa, it's loud. No! Overshot. This is 12. Is that true, or are you just trying to get another play out of me? Chat does indeed say 13. The real question is this 13? Or if I die... Ah! It's always the second guess. It's the overshot that gets me. Alright, so that's 14 deaths. That's 14 deaths. Yikes, yikes, dude. Come on, man. Let me center, dude. Yep, yep. Give me a break. Stand up, if I'm being honest, I don't honestly know what does what amount of damage because everything has been changing because I upgrade melee stuff, you know? So I don't honestly know what does what when. 15. Dude, I don't wanna lose! I wanna win! I want to win! Come on! Stop running into the wall, bro! Stop it! Broseph! Give me a break! I hate this one so much. Give me a break. I hit that chair so hard. Why? Who? I hate this game. I love this game. I hate this game, and I love this game. Holy moly! Save. You better believe I saved. All right, I returned your runaway plant. Where is he? Hey, you found my friend. I sure did. So cute, right? Thanks for bringing him back. So cute. You wouldn't even believe how cute he is, dude. He's the cutest. I guess I'm about to get that upgrade, huh? Shift shot. Shoot arrows and teleport to the arrows? You can travel through small spaces. To switch arrow types, press RT. When shift shot is active, hold down the arrow fire key and release to teleport. You must be standing to use this arrow type. Your current arrow type is shown beneath your health bar. Oh, what, dude? Neato. Okay, cool. So now I guess I can do better things. Oh yeah, that was what that was down there, wasn't it? Neat. Oh, this game, Xando. You can now say you were here when. So what do I do here? I guess this must not be something I can do yet. Unless there's just another way. No, it doesn't look like there is. No, I don't think there's another way. Interesting, interesting, interesting. No, you can only do it while standing, which is kind of cheap. Or maybe double jump into the dash thing to a wall crawl. I don't think so. I think that's got to be another upgrade, because there are more upgrades. No, I think I just got to get out of here. Will I ever get out of here? Bow near 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 near. Okay, there's got to be a sneaky secret. I'm just gonna go and talk to the guy to find out what's next, because we do not have time to lollygag. That boss fight took way too long. No time to lollygag. Got to go pay our way forward. Xander, do you think this is a game you would enjoy? I feel like you would enjoy it. Yep. I would. Gotta run and make some deliveries to the UPS store. Might not be back before the end of the stream. I believe in you so much. You can do all the islets better than anyone else. That's right. Alright, Wolf Pine is next. Which I think is... Where is it? Ooh, okay, cool. Cool! Here we go. The heat is on! Ooh, what is this? A secret letter? What is that plant doing?
Hey Aiko, I heard you've been planting some plants in the hanging gardens. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm actually quite the botanist myself. After a long battle, there's nothing more relaxing than tending to my plants. Bet you didn't even know I had a soft side to me too. I even have a little garden shop in Rainy Plains. You should stop by when you have a chance.
Nope. Okay, I bet I'm about to get... It's on the wish list. If I can ever stop spending cash on PTCG, I'll probably pick it up. The classic conundrum, my dude. Alright, I'm just gonna go straight to the right. I assume that's the next one. Whoa! There it is. The Forgotten Rots. All right, come on now. That's enough. What's up here? What could it be? Don't like it. Don't like it, in fact. Not a fan, actually, of that monster. Not actually a fan, it turns out. Okay. Well. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Guess we got some learning to do, don't we? So I wonder if the teleporting arrows I actually need to, like, do I need arrows to use it, you know? Or is it just something I have? Nah, there's just a secret up here. Well, I mean, I got a good secret. Upgrade! Come on, I have to hold A? Seriously? Why do I have to hold A? This is tough. Something about this game and cats, it's making me start to hate them. Double jumping shoots more projectiles downwards. Climb speed, no, that's not helpful. I guess I'll do this one. Oh, cool. Neato. That your horoscope. That your horoscope for today. Gotta find save points soon, that's for sure. Ooh, hello. Who are you?
It's so creepy out here, and these aren't just statues. They used to be living creatures like you and me. But that was before the Stone Witch came along. She turned them all to stone, so this village would remain frozen in time forever. But that's exactly why I'm here. It's my destiny. My family has been warriors for generations, so I have to keep the legacy alive. I might not be the strongest or the fastest or the biggest or that good of a warrior in general, but if I don't kill the Stone Witch, my family will be super disappointed, so that had to count for something, right? I'm gonna kill the Stone Witch. Stone Witch ain't gonna know what hit her when I'm done, my dudes. People gonna be saying, Stone Witch who did? That looks like a boss fight. That's because it is. Is that the Stone Witch? Is that the Stone Witches? Ooh boy. Nope. Mini boss. Well, they were scary, alright. I need health. I'm gonna have to go back down there and get health. This simply will not do. There's no sense in a pointless death. What's the point of this? Okay. Okay. Something I definitely should have done was look to see how much health cost my next health upgrade. Unless I actually need whatever he's selling in his plant shop. Somehow I think it's gonna be garbage. Oops. Oops. Whoopsie. Alright, back here again.
Time to fight the witch. Upgrade. Boing. That was a big upgrade. Slam attack is pretty nice. Arrow fire rate, I guess, is okay. I don't know what the pots would possibly help me with. I'm gonna go with the fire rate. Low health. Yep. I've caught you now, Stone Witch. Prepare to cry.
Aw, I thought you were the Stone Witch. Good thing you're not. I totally fumbled my speech. I've been planning this moment for a long time now, so it needs to be perfect. When I do find the real Stone Witch, my speech will be beautiful and moving, and she won't even mind her defeat.
I'm not gonna lie, you scared me half to death because I thought I... Oh, save point. Thank you for the save point. Is that a fish man? Is that a frog? Don't care for him. Don't care for the frog man. I am the frog man. You are the walrus. Cuckoo-cuckoo. What is this? There's so many of them! They're kind of pretty. This feels like a boss fight. Ram. Ah! Okay. Is he gone now? Oh no, I just destroyed a person. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, I just ended a life. I don't know if that opened it or not. Whee! Upgrades. We love upgrades. Larger blast when you're hit. 3 times causes more damage. I like damage. Okay, so I'm gonna die here again. Because I have literally 1 health. Yeah. Yeah, I could have predicted that one. But here we go again. Oh no, he's back! Oh, why did I do that? Let's just go up. What? Oh, it's over here. What a silly thing. What a silly thing to have done. Oh, I don't have this yet. Unless... You don't think. Nope. Nope, I just don't have this yet. I guess I could... take the damage? Nope, can't even do that. No, ungettable. Then why is it there if it's ungettable? Maybe I'm wrong. Is there something I can do here? Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. No. What do I do with those? It's telling me that it's gettable, but it's ungettable. Explain. I gotta break the other way. I don't understand. How can it be ungettable but also gettable? My brain doesn't get it. Second. Well, that's no good. It's no good at all. By golly, I've just gotten myself back to where I started. Why, that's simply no help in the slightest. Why is that save point not registering? Gotta be close to getting more health. Unless, of course, they're nearby. Oh, good. Don't they save? Yes, they do. Nice. You're kidding. So what am I supposed to do? The teleporter. The teleporter! The teleporting arrows. Ah, man, it's no wonder this game is taking me way longer than 5 hours, dude. Ain't got no brain. If I had a brain, I would already beat this game. Ain't got one. Gave mine up. Okay, well now I got it all figured out. Probably. This will be fine. Give me a break, bro, Thief. Okay, I guess I ought to keep trying for that upgrade, huh? I'll only end up going for it later. Gotta change headphones. Got to. Alright, here we go. Uh-oh. That isn't good. Now, why on earth would it have done that? Oh no. Wrong button. Can you guys hear it? Oh, come on! Give me a break, dude. Are you serious? Can you guys hear it or no? That is some garbage. Let's see if this fixes it. Oh my goodness. I thought it already said connected. Bluetooth is a scam, you guys. Well, wait until I can quit the game. I gotta re-up it. This didn't go much better. It didn't go much better that time. I don't know. If anybody's in the chat and can hear this, or can hear the game, let me know, please. Mama, mama, mama mia! Mama, mama mia! The good news is I think they're dead, so they should be fine. Oh wait, I can quit. What? What? Okay, hopefully this should work whenever I do it again. So ridiculous, dude. There we go. Yep. You should be able to hear it again. If you aren't, then I'm sorry. I can hear it again. Okay. The good news is that I think that worked, so let's go see what they were blocking. Why did I do that so smooth? Like, are you kidding me? Why was that so smooth that time? Oh, good. No, they were blocking a boss. That's super cool. Alright, that's enough mini-bosses. That's enough, actually. No more mini-bosses will be needed. Thank you. Oh good, you normally mean there's a save point.
Do you ever feel like you're just a warrior because you're supposed to be? I know personally, but I'm sure some warriors feel that way. It's a lot of pressure, you know?
Okay, you normally cue a save point, but you didn't this time, buddy. What's up with that, huh? I really needed you to be a save point, old friend. Because what if I die? Good. See, I knew it. Now I need to get this upgrade. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Think smarter, not harder. That's what I say. Off we go. You guys, I'm getting worried we're not gonna beat this game again. I really thought today was gonna be the day we were gonna beat this game, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm getting a little worried. I'm getting just a little bit worried. Uh-oh. The Stone Witch! Good, I was just saying. Aha, I caught you! Stone Witch! Prepare for a battle more deadly than 1,000 battles! Prepare for a wound more painful than 1,000,000 wounds! Prepare for a death more deadly than death itself! Prepare for a stabbing more... He got turned to stone. Whoa! 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 And they bounce around, and they bounce around! Oh wow, I already got her to her milestone. Okay. Okay. Here we go! Number 1! Time to find out how many more can Nathan handle. Okay, I was trying to figure out the cat one. 2. I really just want to learn what the cat one does. The cat one. I thought it would just be dodging back and forth, but I can't go fast enough. 3. What? Sorry? With the joke. Why can't I jump over the cat? What am I supposed to do with the cat? My nose itched on that one. That one doesn't count. 4. Okay. What? Garbanzo? I don't understand! I guess it has to be a mixture of jumping and dodging. What on earth, dude? I am dodging it. What? What even? All right, 5. Happens. Dodge it. Cat. The accursed cat. I mean, but what though? I mean, what though? Okay, good. I got her to her milestone again this time. But I don't get to learn any of the moves. Okay, 6. happens. I dodge it. I don't understand that, dude. That is not computing. The cat is not computing, and she is not computing. Also, I don't know, why can no enemies ever be on my level? Why is it that no enemies can ever be on my level? They all have to be a jump hit. Nobody is allowed to be on my level for just a normal hit. I have to do jump hits. Every single boss floats. Every single boss floats. I just want to know more about why that might be. I do not know what to do with it. I mean, what though? What am I doing wrong there? It's fine. It's fine. 7. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, ukulele for worship. Every boss in this game has been quite the boss. And I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the bosses. I'm tired of them all being so floaty. 8. I don't understand the cat! It's gotta be a rhythm that my brain is not computing. Okay, he comes. Dodge, jump. Okay, 9. I'm worried this isn't even a boss I'm supposed to be taking on right now. Because what is that over to the right? The right is where I'm supposed to be going next. One more try. I think I'm skipping bosses again. I've done this before, and I think I'm doing it again. Do I really? I think I've skipped a boss. I think I've skipped a segment of the game. Maybe not, but this is not where the question mark is, and I think that's weird. I would love to say that you're right, ukulele for worship. However, I don't think that it's a weapon or a skill thing. I think it's a health and melee and strength thing. Which I guess is kind of the same. All of these bosses are crazy precise, by the way, so it's not even really that. Okay. We're gonna go back down there and we're gonna try. For the other end. It's amazing how much this game would be improved by a mini-map. So that I don't have to constantly be on the search. For where I need to go. Or if I had a better brain space. Oh, this again. I know what I've got to do, and I'm not going to be able to do it. Here we go. Floaty McFloaterson. Okay. I really hope this works. If this doesn't work, you know what? I'm not even gonna save. Because if this doesn't work, I wanna die and go back up there. Okay, so it did do what I thought it was gonna do, but that doesn't actually help me with this, now does it? So I'm wrong. Then why is the question mark over there? I was wrong. Man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this fight. I don't want it. I don't want to do another super incredibly tough boss fight right now. I just don't want to. I'm so tired of the incredibly difficult boss fights. One after another! Can you go down from the green area? Maybe. You see how weak my arrows were? I wonder where he said that he had like a plant shop or something. I don't have enough for that. How are people beating this game in 5.5 hours? Can we talk about that? How are people beating this game in 5.5 hours? Am I that bad at games? Or are people just totally misrepresenting how hard they're trying at this game? Ain't no way I'm that bad at games. I'm about to be 3 hours over. I'm not making any claims to be like actually the greatest gamer, unironically, but I am not that bad at games. People are underrating their time spent in this game. I'm trying to figure out where this guy's flower shop is. I just don't see it. In the rainy plains. I haven't talked to her yet. Hey Aiko! Thanks again for bringing my hand back. I wanted to make up for lost time, so I'm bringing him on vacation with me. He's always wanted to go to the pits because there's so many flies for him to eat. Yeah, see, I don't know where the rainy plains are. Very, very interesting. I guess let's try and go for that Seeky secret. If I can. A mass grave. Gotta find a mass grave on North Stable Island. Mass grave. Is this a mass grave? I don't honestly remember even seeing a mass grave in this little city. still need to know how to deal with this, dude. I guess I get a different sword or something. That's my only logical thought process. A mass grave. I just don't even know what they'd be talking about. The only spot where there's even logical is right over here, for there to even be anything underneath. You know? This is the only spot a mass grave would even make sense. There's nothing here. No, they said it was on North Stable. That's a grave, isn't it? Is this a grave? Is this a grave? Guess not. Where could it even be, dude? Oh no! That's fine, honestly. What's up, Perry? What was that? Was that just it? We either beat the flower power or we hit 20. We beat the flower. What's up, LTN? How we doing? Thank you for the raid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Peace and love. Wait, what? What? Behind this gate is a steep reward. To collect this reward, look for... I did it! What's up, raid party? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to Checkpoint Church, Church for Nerds, Geeks, and Gamers. We are here on Twitch, Discord, and YouTube. We are on Twitch every single day of the week, most weeks, except for Fridays. Every other Friday we take off. And then we are on Discord 24/7, exclamation point Discord in the chat if you want to join up with that. We're always posting questions of the day. I've actually been reading from the lectionary, if you're familiar with what that is, just a scripture Monday through Thursday. And then we've also been just hanging out on the Discord. And then every Sunday on our YouTubes, we post a nerdy sermon. I'm very confused. I'm very confused with this game. I thought it gave like a little mystery, like I've checked every single inch of the blue stuff. I have to have discovered it. Hey, thank you for the follow. And we got to hydrate. Bringing it with the hydrate. Yep, I haven't done very well today, you guys. Look, I'm still at 8 a.m. I'm still at 8 a.m. and it's 11. Something about this keeps giving me very alien hominid vibes. It is like alien hominid in the sense that it is adorable, but it is very, very challenging, unlike alien hominid. I guess there could have been some challenging parts to hominid. I'm about to look this up. I'm about to look it up, I think. Movie game is... So, what Steven just redeemed is movie game. It's a game from the Valley Folk. Combines two movies together in a movie title. I will give you the combined movie prompt, and then Steven gets the first chance to say what the movie is based off of these combined descriptions. So let Steven get a chance to guess. If Steven doesn't get it, I'll open it up to the rest of the chat. Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio fights a bear that wears a size manipulation suit that allows communication with six-legged colony dwellers. I'll read it again. Leo DiCaprio fights a bear that wears a size manipulation suit that allows communication with six-legged colony dwellers. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Hey, thank you for that follow, Adam. Appreciate it. Oh, and since we have a Moviga guide, I owe you guys to let you know how far we are through the Moviga podcast. I got 23 episodes left out of 180, my dudes. Holy moly, are you kidding me? I've listened to 157 episodes of the Moviga podcast. The Revenant Man, that's correct. Chats in the clap for Steven. We do stand. We do stand. Thanks for your lurk, Library Night. You're all good. I'm seriously about to look this up, I think. Let's look it up. North Stable Island grave. Uh-oh. Nope, that's not what I asked. Nope. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this person has any ideas. Look a couple rooms below it in Spirit's Landing, you'll see a big grave icon zoomed in on the map. Okay, find the grave crawler. Couple rooms below it. Well, that would... By golly, that would be not the right place. Are you serious? Get raided with Jade. What's up? 2 raids in a row. Let's go. Shout out. How are we doing? Welcome in. What's good, everybody? Oh, look at the little Jade dancing in the center. I love that. Absolutely. Raid extravaganza. Thank you so much, folks. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I just gave the spiel for the LTN folks, but I'm going to give it again for the J folks because we appreciate you so much. This is Checkpoint Church, church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. I'll even add in a little extra this time. We are a church plant, a real church plant online out of the UMC. I am an officially ordained elder out of the United Methodist Church, planting this church, figuring this thing out, and we are on Twitch almost every single day of the week except for Fridays. Every other Friday we take off. And I'm on Discord every single day of the week. We have questions of the day. We have scripture being read. We have a prayer request channel. We have so much fun stuff going on there. And then on YouTube every single Sunday we post a nerdy sermon, except for this past Sunday because we had a bit of a rendering error. But since we got 2 raids back to back, I'm going to let you guys know what this Sunday's Nerdy Sermon is going to be about. So spoilers for this Sunday's Nerdy Sermon, we're going to be talking about Summertime Rendering, the latest anime that you can actually only get on Disney Plus Japan. So don't use VPNs. But yeah, Summertime Rendering, super exciting. So there you go. There is your fun little promo. If you aren't watching Summertime Rendering, you've got to watch it because it is so good. So good. A gachapon from Zando. You got it, my friend. Oh, maybe you got it. Gachapon doesn't want to play right now. Gachapon. Gachapon.
Come on,
There we
you.
go.
Show this Gachapa what you made of.
It was Joey Wheeler. We almost missed Joey Wheeler. That would have been sad. Let's see what we got from the Gachapon machine. It is another Dragon Ball. The 3-star Dragon Ball for Zando. We've collected yet another Dragon Ball. That brings us up to 4 of the 7. We're getting very, very close to Shenron being summoned. Well, Team 3-star, yep, absolutely. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for the raid. I so appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us on these daily streams here. We were looking at raiding LTM when they raided, so they stole their raid message. That's great. Very funny, very clever. Love it, love it, love it. The last I was talking to Jake, we were talking about cauliflower, and it was a very good time. So we talked all about cauliflower. This game is called Islets. It's a adorable Ghibli-esque Metroidvania. And it's tough. It's a really tough game. It's really challenging, and I'm having a rough go about it. And so right now I am, because I'm having so much trouble with it right now, I am definitely taking it easy on myself. So it said something about a grave, and whenever I hit right there, it made like a little sound, which made me think that I did it right, but I don't think I did. Yep. All you gotta do is cook cauliflower at 1,000,000 degrees. And then you got it. So they said 2 below Spirit's Landing, so let's go for it. Love the art style. The art style is great. The animation is real good, real fun. It feels good. It looks good. I'm a big fan of this game altogether. I'm bad at it. I'm bad at it. But I have a good time. The art style is worth looking at the very least. Gotta kill the potato now. Okay. The game is not procedurally generated. It is a predetermined map. All right, I feel like I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right spot. Trying to remember if there's a single Metroidvania you enjoyed. There are plenty that I enjoy. It's not my favorite genre by any means, but it's a good one. In my humble opinion. Ah, I don't know what that does. Man. Gotta lurk for a bit. All good, Steven. So they definitely said it was in North Stable, though. What am I gonna do? They said it was like 2 below the Gravecrawler. This is what I get for using a walkthrough. The movement of the enemies kind of reminds me of Yoshi's Story. They are not as nice as the enemies in Yoshi's Story, I'll say that much. Whoa! That came out of nowhere. That's a grave! That's a grave! Grave! Yes! Ha ha ha! The greatest gamer is me! Look at all those points! Alright. I even have a shirt that is Dracula's castle in front of a giant Metroid instead of a moon. That's a real good shirt. Well done finding my first secret hideout, but if you think this is all, you are mistaken. To find yourself a step closer to my reward, you must search above 1,000 beasts. I know what that means. And find a key that's out of reach. If you ever need to listen to my clues again, you can find them in your postbox in Sky City. Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Look above 1,000 beasts. 1,000 beasts. Where? There was a thing, right, that I killed, like the 1,000 beasts. Where are they? Yes, one of the bosses was called 1,000 beasts. Where was he though? I don't even remember, dude. I don't know where any of these things are, but that's definitely what it is, right? That's totally the clue. That's totally the clue. I just gotta find it. Gotta figure out where it is. But yeah, folks that are in here, we appreciate you being here. If Metroidvania is not your favorite genre of game, let's talk about what is your favorite genre of game. What's our genre feel? We got up in this place right now. What are we loving? What do we like? What's your favorite game genre if you had to pick only one to survive? If I had my finger on the button of every game genre except for one, What one are you saving? What one are you like, please, Nathan, I beg you, do not destroy that genre of game. You choose Metroidvanias? They're a good one. While you guys are thinking puzzle games, I do love visual novels, but I think I'd probably have to go with farming sims. Sim games of some type. I don't know where I'd be without a sim in my life. Probably just gonna die real fast, you guys. I might survive, but I doubt it. I survived! Almost immediately died after saying how good I was at surviving. Ow. Save point up here. Shaw! Yay! I like me some D2 all day, every day, but I do like all the things. Yeah, I'm not an FPS person, so I'm probably not with it in that realm. No, I don't think this is where it was. Let's try the green place. Is the green place? Come on, come on. Totally it. Okay, so I gotta find the 1,000 beasts. Where did I end the 1,000 beasts? It has to be near a save point. Maybe right there? Oh no, wait, there was totally a sign somewhere, wasn't there? Yep. Boom. Alright. Above the 1,000 beasts, there is a key. Above the 1,000 beasts, there is a key to be found. Is it in here? Come on, you're gonna have this conspicuously high shelf and have nothing there? You're gonna do that to me? Alright, this is totally where the 1,000 beasts were. Ah! Ah! I did it! Yes! Yes! The greatest! The greatest! Love it, dude. You can zoom in on the map. Please tell me how. Well done, little mouse. You're just one step away from my reward. To claim your prize, you must visit 3 familiar faces just past your first big battle. Up the wall, a gate has now been opened. I know exactly where that is. I just gotta find a teleporter or something. Ah, thank you for the sub. Gifting the subs. Where do I go? I don't remember which button zooms. Just try every button. You played it on the Switch. Oh, rock on, dude. This is my first playthrough, so I'm still figuring things out, and it's very possible that I may have just skipped a whole section of the tutorial that told me how to do that. Oh, Subwheel, for sure, for sure. Subwheel, who got the sub? Mac, GTF, tell me, would you like clockwise, counterclockwise, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you want me to spin that wheel? You let me know. Oh wait, this is where it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Scale of 1 to 10, and clockwise or counterclockwise. 5 and clockwise, perfect medium strength. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. The sub wheel. Wait, you can't see it. You can't see it. That's not very kind. Can't see it. That's not very kind. Let's at least let you see. Oh, the power of friendship. Yes, with the raids. All right, a 5. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Yo, I don't know. Green. All right, that is a free gachapon. Gachapon time.
That's enough for hot coffee pot. I wonder what we'll get in the gachapon.
I don't know, Eminem. Let's find out. It's beans. No! It's the worst bean! Oh. Mac? Right or left hand? I got 2 beans here. They could both be nasty. One could be nasty. They could both be good. The options are limitless. But this is my least favorite bean. I'm going to gag into this trash can if it's the bad bean. But you get to decide. Right or left bean? Right or left bean? Man, I can't believe this. This is the worst bean. Jate is an absolute mastermind with all these beans. Little girl said right, you got it. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Don't be the liver. They're all liver and onions. They're all liver and onions. I've yet to have a single brown one that is not liver and onions. Ooh, okay. Bottoms up. Oh, it's not liver and onions! I don't know what it is. It's actually pretty gross. I've never spit out a bean. I've spit out every bean. Except for the toothpaste and the chocolate right now. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Mac, you just became my favorite person. Cappuccino. That explains it. Oh my goodness. It is actually pretty gross. Is this gonna be a boss? Hey, yo. Are you gonna be a boss right now? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. My prize is a fight with a boss? I don't want it, homie. I don't want your prize if it's a boss fight. Why am I not doing my down? Why am I not doing my down? Why am I not doing my down? Oh no, you're kidding me. Alright, that's fine. It's fine, it's fine. So it looks like it's just a bunch of upgrades. Significantly easier than the runaway plant. It definitely is. But you guys actually, you missed those that you were lurking here. You guys missed my fight with the, oh, I can't skip this either. You guys missed my fight with the Stone Witch. That was very challenging and frustrating, and I quit. I had to stop that one. So I'm gonna take a little more seriously. Bosses are definitely the reward in Metroidvanias. These are by far the most challenging bosses ever. This game is like practically a Dark Souls game. I would say this game is most easily compared to Hollow Knight as far as Metroidvanias are concerned. Oh, it's double, huh? What you got that I don't got, Skulls? Nothing. Nothing, my dudes. Bow. Look at all these upgrades. Look at all these upgrades. All right, enemies drop more currency. That sounds pretty nice. Definitely better than the other two. Yes! Let's do that one. They have two of them, but you have at least one skull. At least. I guess the fire rate would be best. Wow, dude! Alright, well. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? I don't want to go take on that boss again because I got wrecked so hard the last time. I do have enough so I could potentially up my damage. That'd be kind of nice. I think my damage costs 700. So who knows? Now with an upgraded health and an upgraded damage, maybe I'll actually be able to make a dent. Maybe. Oh no, I can't. I can only up my arrow damage, which would also be nice. Or I upgrade my health again. I'm still a ways away from upgrading my strength. Oh, there's so much grinding to be done in this game. I don't understand how people beat this game in 5 hours. Who was it that played this game before on the Switch? Hamster, I think was their name. Hamster, are you still here? Hamster, how many hours did it take you to beat this game? Am I bad at games? I feel like I might be bad at games. I've got so many arrows, it would make so much more sense for me to increase the strength, right? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, dude. What have I got to lose? You're the greatest gamer. I mean, like, I know, right? I know I'm not good at games, right? Like, I'm aware of this. But am I bad, though? Am I just so bad? Because I feel like I'm not that bad. I feel like I'm not 4 hours... I feel like I'm not 4 hours longer than the average playthrough bad. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Not good, you're great. They're more than good. They're great. Alright. I'm gonna try again, dudes. I'm gonna try again. I guess I'll try until the end of this stream, because we really only have too much. We only have another 30 minutes. And that's only a couple more tries. But I gotta get there first. You would think they would put a portal a little closer to this person. Why do I have to go so far? Jake, I still need a retro game recommendation, by the way. Don't forget. Don't forget me. It's only 10:30 a.m. and I haven't slept yet. I mean, I feel you, but not quite that bad. Not even tired, you just forgot. Oh, you forgot to pick a retro game. I was going to say you forgot to sleep. Which also sounds very viable, very possible. Oh boy. Can't know what that is. Nothing. Nothing helpful. I could go this way. And I'm very generous with my definition of retro. I don't feel like you have to be like Atari 2600. Like honestly, the Wii is retro now. Oh, I'm on the wrong ones. Please don't die. No way do you say Atari 2600 as soon as I say that. No way do you do that. Absolutely no shot is that what just happened. Okay. I do certainly know of the Atari 2600, and I'm happy to see if I can find a copy of Joust somewhere. The Wii isn't retro. I know, but it is though. My rule of thumb is 10 years or older. If it's a decade old, it's retro. I know that hurts to hear. This part, I admit I'm bad at. I'm just not good at floaty floater suits. I remember waiting in line for the Wii, so that means that it can be retro. Obs. Alright, we're going for this boss again, my dudes. We're gonna go for it. I might have to look up a tutorial. There was a portal right there the whole time. There was a portal, and the portal restores my health. Go, go, go. Hey, thank you for the follow, Sarah Sleepy. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate ya. Thank you for the follow. Whoopsie, didn't mean to do that. Still can't believe I've wasted all my time with this. Just following all the save streamers. Oh, rock on. Yeah, I haven't even implemented that. I need to. But I did apply for, I applied for save streamers. And I need to add that to my, my thing. Love this. That's our, yep, so we end every stream with our 3 things that we believe to be true about every single person enjoying our streams or being a part of this or hearing the VOD or whatever. We believe that God loves them, we love them, and that they matter. That is our catchphrase. Here we go. Still gotta figure out how this cat works. I wonder if I could do a ground pound. Haven't tried that. Cool, I made it mad. Less than half health already. Yeah. Okay, clean my Twitch, except like one guy that isn't clean, but I have been following him for years. We're Facebook friends, so that would be so cruel. Hi Sneaky, hi Perry. Want to get into all the good stuff happening at Checkpoint Church on Discord? Yes, Discord is where all the good stuff happens. That's where we are 99.9% of the time. We have a super active Discord, in my humble opinion. We always got peeps hanging out there. It's the place to be. Oh, come on. I swear they're messing with me with the timing recently. Oh, excuse me? Bad run. It's a bad run right here. You said I've never tried. I played Myst forever and a day ago, and I definitely did not beat it, so I'm down to try. It's a legend. Okay, so we're making it to half easy right now, which is good. What are you about to do? What are you about to do? What are you about to do? You're making me nervous. Don't make the cat. Oh! Okay, okay. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Oh, okay. Alright, I don't know what that was. Do you think there should be a new Twitch streaming server for Christian streamers? Tell me more about this. I know very little about Twitch in general, as far as like back-ending and stuff like that. What is a streaming server? I do think we need to figure out a way to do the new tags. Because I feel like I've lost my identity with my tags right now. Whoa! Ooh, that kind of worked. Kind of. It kind of worked. It didn't not unwork. I'm really enjoying the art style of this game. Same! Nice. It's charming as all get out. Twitch is a streaming server, okay. That's what I thought you meant, but I wasn't sure if you meant like we need our own Twitch. Okay. Not my best run there. Not my best run. I personally wouldn't join it if there was one for what it's worth. It's so weird. So one of the things, here's the thing behind Checkpoint Church and why we're doing this on Twitch. Twitch is, for us, our like first, we have like a discipleship pathway, right? And Twitch is the first step of our discipleship pathway where we just want to meet people. And so I go back and forth between even using the Christian tag because sure, I would love to meet new Christians, but I'm even better than that. I would love to meet people that are not Christians and let them know that, hey, church is not as weird as you think it is, and we're not all mean and cruel. We are truly providing a safe space and a kind space. And so it's like, it's such a weird thing. Like on one end, of course I am a Christian. Of course I'm a Christian, and I'm a pastor, and literally our name is Checkpoint Church, so I'm not like trying to put on airs or like be disingenuous with anybody. But at the same time, I don't expect that everyone's going to be joining our Twitch is going to be a Christian. In fact, I hope they aren't. I would love for them to not be. And so I try to talk about things that aren't necessarily going to be in the like Christosphere, like Game Grumps. I'll talk about Game Grumps; they're one of my favorites. So they'll always be somewhere in my place. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend them to just anybody and everybody, right? Try to talk about things that aren't trending in the Christian sphere too, like Cult of the Lamb. I got in a little bit of hot water over that one recently. Woof. I think it'd be nice for all of us to be on the same thing, but at the same time, it's limit the ability to share the gospel, right? The thing is, Twitch is where the gamers are. Gotta meet people where they are. If we make it a separate thing, I don't think people would use it. And for the people who did use it, it would become a holy huddle. That's why I don't use YouTube. YouTube is where I post our sermons, purely because I just like YouTube as a platform. But I'm not like... I'm wanting to reach the nerd, geek, and gamer, and so it wouldn't make sense for me to put all of my stream stuff on YouTube because that's not where the nerd, the geek, and the gamer are streaming. Or watching their streams, at least. I'm telling you, this cat. I can't figure out the cat. If I can figure out the cat, all will be well. I need hamster here. I need hamster here. Hamster's the one that I will allow to backseat game me. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Look, we got this. Come on. Come on. We got this. Easy peasy. I'm making so much more headway. Closer to the sides. Genius, Sneaky. I will try it. I don't know why I can't dodge that one. Let's try the sides. It didn't not work better. I think you're onto something, Sneaky. Give me a break. Bah, rolled right into it. Okay, you know what? I'm getting it down to a third every time. I'm getting it down to a third every time. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm getting better. I'm improving as a human being and as a person. I am better than I was before I started this fight, and thus I'm going to continue. Perseverance. All right, cat thing. What? Game changer! Ain't got nothing on me now, Stone Witch! Ow! Ba-bow! Babushka! Who is the Stone Witch now? It's me! Who do you think you are? I am! Okay, immediately about dodge, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, and now the cat's also hitting me. It's fine! It's fine! I'm fine! My ego didn't go out the roof or anything. I'm fine. I got this. Look, I got this. It's easy peasy. Easy games. This is baby games. This is baby games now. What is this? A baby game made for babies? That's what I thought. Uh-oh. Nobody puts baby games in the corner. All I need is some more. All I need is some more, dude. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Come on, dude. Come on. No. No. Are you kidding me? Look at that health. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. Did you see that health, dude? As Christians, knowing that is really important, so we don't feel like some people aren't vocal enough or too vocal. Room for both. Some people are reaching non-Christians. Some people are supporting and teaching Christians. Yeah, that's a huge part. I'm definitely getting it. I'm definitely getting it. I'm better. I'm better than I was. I'm better than I was. That's what I'm saying. This is improvement. This is how we get better. This is how we play video games. Come on. why sometimes I dodge that one so well, and other times I just do not. Oh boy, that was close. Why am I not shooting arrows? Why am I not shooting arrows? Why am I not shooting arrows? It's because I have the teleporter on. Doggone it. Alright. I got sloppy this round. Doesn't mean I can't do it, but I think it's pretty unlikely considering how sloppy I got. That's alright, that's alright, that's alright. That's alright, that was a warm-up. The reason I joined Twitch was specifically for non-Christians. Love my Christian followers, but they're not my reason for being here. See, and it all comes down to kind of knowing your purpose and like why you're on this platform. Most of what we do is like I've said, I'm not just trying to get you to join our Discord. What we do is on our Discord. That's what I see as our like ministry. That's our church building. And so if you want to know like what we're about, that's where we're doing all of our things, right? Whereas Twitch is really just meeting people. And so with Jade, right, that's all that. I mean, you do have your Discord, you have your Love Clan stuff, but a big part of your ministry is your Twitch. You're on there so often, right? But our purpose with Twitch is purely just meeting new people to ideally get to know them even better through our Discord and channels like that. Yeah, the arrows really do so much damage. Now that I've upgraded them. Clearly that was the upgrade we all needed all along. Different gifts, different missions, all needed and valid and important. And at the end of the day, I just hope we're all letting people know that they are loved and that they matter. They are valuable in this space. They are cherished and needed. Yikes. Come on! I'm so close! I've got it if I can just focus, dude. Just gotta focus. I just gotta, all the beans in the place. Why is that one hitting me? Why? Sloppy, dude. Gotten sloppy, dude. Yeah, this is not the one. That's not the one. Here we go. I dodged way too early. But I don't understand. It feels like I'm dodging at the same time, but I'm definitely not. Oh, come on. That is a delightful emote. Ah, that one's so precise. Sloppy, sloppy! Ba-ba-boom, baby! Chats in the clap, please. Thank you for another boss. Another one down. The Stone Witch is no more. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. No, you lose. Okay, I gotta figure out how to turn him back from stone, though, because that makes me real sad. All right. Woof. Knew you could do it. The greatest gamer is capable of anything. What is this? Ooh, a ship part? A motor. Cool. And a teleporter. All right. I don't know if it's time to use this. It still wants me to go over there, but I don't know what do I do there. I thought I did 2 ship parts. Don't tell me I need to explore. Say it ain't so. Oh, what's going on in the mailbox? Already done that. Already done that.
Hey, Coach, check out the statue I found. It looks so realistic, huh? I'm thinking of attaching it to the front of my ship as a figurehead. I figure my ship could use a bit of decoration.
Ship parts got a Pikmin story. Exactly. We were just talking about Pikmin. We were talking about Tinykin. 3 of those and 1 of those. Dude, I gotta go get more parts. No! How? Who beat this game in 5 hours? Who did it? I need to know. Who are you? Who is out there beating this game in 5 hours? I gotta find a ship part on each of these lands. Who? Who are you? Who's doing it? How are you doing it? I gotta figure out how to zoom in. That's the first thing I gotta do. Why? Okay. Ship part. Okay, they just, okay, there's a, I just got that though. I don't need what I already got, I need what I don't have. There's gotta be a way to get here, right? I'm not thinking it through. I know, and that's what's boggling me, because we're now at 8 hours, and I feel like I am no closer. What? How do I get there? How? I thought I used my teleporter arrow in that place, but it was wrong. I was incorrect. Do you mind if I ask a potentially provocative question about theology, or do you generally try to keep the gaming stream separate from the churchy streams? Oh, no, that's fine. That website tends to be on the short side. Yeah, well, definitely. Average means some people were faster than that. Unbelievable. And now here's the thing, right? I can totally wrap my mind around that people are speedrunning this, and that's all well and good. So I'm going to tell myself that that's the answer, that people are speedrunning. So it only tells me things I've already found, doesn't it? Do I need to go back here? I have no idea. Are you familiar with Wesley Hill? If so, thoughts on his work? I don't know Wesley Hill. I spend roughly all my time in Metroidvanias looking for what to do next, right? And that's why so you can buy the next thing to do from a guy in town, and that's what that little question mark is right there. This little question mark is the next thing to do. But I can't figure out how to get there. All good. Thank you for your lurk. Thank you for your lurk, Mac. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm all confused. I guess I'll try again. I'm like, maybe I need to drop down? Maybe that's the secret? I'll try that. There is a connection right there, but I can't get through it. If that's the one you're looking at. Is it this one right here? That one that's like dead center right now? I can't get through that. Unless I'm just not understanding what needs to be done. So I'm going to try and go down some of these tunnels. We got a tan one over there and 2 green ones here. But I'm like 99% sure I have tried going through that. What if I just do it? What if I just do it then? What if I just go there and just get good? Yeah, it's blocked off. Is this a fight that I was doing earlier that I kept losing? It is. It can't be. Is this really what I have to do? I mean, it's definitely going down, isn't it? I am stronger now. Stronger than before, but I don't have health. How many hits does he take? Woo! Maybe this is the secret. Whoopsie. No, no. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. I need help. I need health. I need a save point. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. Please, I need a save point. Please. Please, I beg you. Please. Oh, well, that is a ship part. But that is not a save point. Maybe there'll be a save point on the other side of it. This fella, Western Sim, Wesley Hill. No idea. I'll have to look into him. Okay, okay, alright, okay, alright, okay. So I was just going the wrong way. I guess that's gotta be the answer. I was just going the wrong way. I'm really gonna need a save point. Nope, I was not going the wrong way. Let's try to go to that tan one, I guess? No, that's not a lock, I'm pretty sure. Let's try it. When did I get health? I'm like 99% sure this was locked. No, I'm 100% sure. There's another one over there. Let's try that one, I guess. But hey, let me just be so bold as to say, perhaps whenever the guy told me where I should have gone next, he shouldn't have put the question mark where he did. Perhaps he should put the question mark there. That's what me thinks. Me thinks that. Down again. Very nice. We really don't have much more time. We're in the last 5 minutes here. So really, we'll probably just, well, look at that. How is this open? Why is this open? Oh my goodness. We'll go to the next save point. The range? Airship? Ah, I gotta go with airship, I'm sorry. Because if I fight more pirates, I'm gonna need that. Whoops. So could I just increase the range the entire time? Is that a thing now? This feels suspiciously like a place where a boss would be, doesn't it? Very suspicious. Indeed. Quite suspicious. Ooh. Very suspicious. So now I've just discovered a whole new area of the map, huh? Gotta find a save point. Because we are running low on time. Wham! Smack! Smack! Wah! Does anybody else give sound effects themselves when they play games? That just me. The Rainy Plains! Oh my goodness, we're in a whole new area! With a save point! Yay! We did it! Alright, so now we have more stuff. We're getting closer and closer to our area that we're supposed to be at. And wow! Wow. I can't believe that I'm about to play another 3 hours of this game. Do I need to go to save? Does this save? I'm pretty sure it saves. Yes. 2 minutes ago was longer than just now. Let's see how many times I've died, shall we? 126 times! Yay! So many deaths! Woohoo! I need a save point. Why is there not a save point? Where's the closest one? That's pretty close to a save point. I'm gonna need to know that I gotta save. There we go. Yeah! Nice. Okay, folks. Well, again, this is Checkpoint Church, a church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. We're happy you're here. Thank you to Jay and Love Thy Nerd for the back-to-back raids. Too cool of you guys. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the love. We're gonna pay that forward, and we're gonna be raiding somebody here next. We gotta pick who is live right now. That's the ultimate question. Trombone's not here. She's our normal director of raids. I've got Susie Check Games and Jen Cam Plays Board Games. Those are the three that I've got live right now. So I guess we'll go for it. Let's see what they're playing. Jen Cam Plays Board Games is playing Disney Dreamlight, which is super fun. Chet Gameplays is playing... I can't tell. Does anybody else out in the chat have any recommendations of who to raid? Do we have any raid recs? I'm down for any of these. Susie's doing it just chatting right now. Going to sleep now. Bye, Jay! Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. Let's go, we'll go for Susie. I don't think I've not raided Susie, like, ever. But I don't know what Susie's doing. Oh, you have one? Go for it, Jade. I would love a rec. Susie's got plenty. Just Allie, just a little spark, okay? Just a little spark it is. Just a little spark. I don't follow me, folks. The only other person I follow on my channel right now is only XMXT and only is appropriate follow. Right? That's my thing. All right, we're gonna follow we're gonna go raid Just a Little Spark, folks. We believe 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there. Number 1, we believe that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here on Twitch, Discord, and YouTube. Number 3, we believe that you, yes, you, no matter who you are, whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, no matter what, you can even hate the church. None of that stuff changes this. We believe that you matter. You're a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, we're going to go raid Just a Little Spark. Be sure to spam a bunch of you matters in the chat. You should have the emote. Spam you matters and let them know that they do indeed matter. All right, with that, folks, until the next time I see you, which will be back next Monday with our Poke Monday stream, unless we do a bonus stream this week. Who could say? But until then, be well. Bye-bye!